This session is aimed at moving the body, trying to get rid of aches in the neck, aches in the lower back. Of course, this is not going to be a fix-all, but if you do some of the exercises that we do today a bit more often, then you find yourself maybe having less of these pains over time. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to work down the whole body, mainly mobilizing, and then do some light exercises later on. Alright, so you just have to follow along. We're starting with the hands on the hips, we're slightly bent to the knees, and then we'll start with the neck. We're gonna look completely down and then completely up. You're really trying to feel the stretch. Here you feel it on the front, and here you feel it on the back. Ik zal soms ook wat Nederlands praten, zodat het voor iedereen aangenaam is. Dus we zijn nu bezig met de nek te stretchen. Niet zo makkelijk om te spreken in deze positie, maar goed om veel beweging te krijgen. Good exercise to loosen up the neck. We have 2 more times. And we look completely up, completely down. Last time, laatste keer. And down. Okay, continuing for the neck, we're gonna look towards the left and try to look over your shoulder without moving the shoulders themselves. And then you come back to the middle, you go over to the right side, you look over the shoulder, really feeling a stretch from twisting the neck, back to the middle. En we gaan weer over de linker schouder kijken. De schouders bewegen niet mee, enkel het hoofd. En dan naar rechts. And every time we hold it for about 1 or 2 seconds before we go over to the other side. This is the 3rd repetition. We're going for 5. So this is 4, last one. We look from left to right. Okay, and then the last one for the neck. We drop down with our left ear towards the left shoulder, feeling a stretch on the side now, coming back to the middle and going over towards the other side. Back to the middle. And if at any point there is something not right, just let me know in the chat. I thought I saw that my microphone was out, but that's not the case, so we're just continuing. I hope you have been continuing to the right, to the left. 2 more times. And left. Last time. And typically for these exercises, you should feel it just a bit, but not more. It shouldn't be painful, so you don't have to go into a painful zone. Okay, that's it for now for the neck. We're gonna go down to the shoulders. We make fists with our hands, we maken vuist met de handen, and then we bring up the shoulders and we try to squeeze them up as high as you can, again without causing pain, and then not just put them down, but now I push them down actively in the ground, trying to make the biggest range of motion in this movement, going completely down and up. Also great exercise for loosening up the neck area, although we're not doing anything with the neck as such. Going up for the last time and down. Now we're going for circular movements, so with those shoulders that we just did up and down, we're making little circles forwards. We don't try to do it too fast, but we try and reach far for a big range of motion. 2 more times, and then we're doing it in the opposite direction. Okay, there we go. Nu gaan we achterwaartse cirkels doen, going for backward circles. And you shouldn't put too much tension on the muscle, so though it might feel a bit weird, you just try and stay relaxed, except for the movement that you create in the shoulders themselves. One more. Okay, now we bring the arms straight up. This is a bit more difficult, let's say. Now we would first push down the shoulder blade. So you see I'm going from here to here without moving my arms. Then you go backwards, you try to bring down the arms, upwards, and then forwards and down. So you go backwards, up, forwards, and down. So actually making a movement of a square, you would go up, back, forwards, and down. Also aiming at loosening up the neck area, because too often the area becomes too stiff from sitting a lot or looking down, especially looking down on the screen, looking down on the smartphone. Okay, we change the direction. We first now bring it up before we bring it backwards, and then down and forwards again. Requires some control, so if you feel this is a bit difficult, no worries. It's a bit normal. You have to try and loosen up the area. We're almost done. One more square. Up, back, down, and forwards. Okay, good. That's a bit loosened up. Putting the arms crossed on the chest. I'm still slightly bent through the knees and through the hips. So I'm not standing passively like this, but active standing position, slightly bent through the knees and hips. Then I'm gonna make a little, how should I say it? I'm gonna flex forwards over here, try to round up the upper back. Then from here, you deviate towards the left. And in this position, you wanna have your right shoulder on the same line, so not forwards twisting like this, but on the right, on the same line where the right shoulder is above the left shoulder. Before you then go backwards, you don't try to move in the hips. We go down to the right side. Now my right shoulder is lower than my left shoulder, but they're on the same line, and I go forwards again. Also not the easiest exercise, but if you find it difficult, then this would especially be useful for you, since it's nice to gain some postural control in order to not really feel too much stiffness, too many aches throughout the day. So we're forwards, up towards the side, backwards on the right side, and up. And when you're with one shoulder above the other one, so if you're in this position, now you would feel a stretch on the side where the shoulder is above the other one. We're here on the last one, and now we switch around. We first go towards the right, backwards, towards the left, forwards, going all the way, but now in the other direction. Two more repetitions. Nou, laatste herhaling. Okay, good. Now we're gonna relax a bit. We're gonna elevate our arms just like this, and then we're twisting towards both sides and really let the arms hang loose. So I'm really not putting any effort in controlling my arm movement. I just let it swing freely. You can see I'm also twisting in the hips now. So now my left hip is forwards, now my right hip is forwards, and this just feels nice to move all of your tissues. You get rid of your issues. Almost done. Have 2 more towards each side. Okay, very well. We bring back the arms in the same position as we just did, and now we're gonna twist just with the upper body towards one side, coming back to the middle, twisting up towards the other side. And if you look closely, you can see that I do not move my hips. So there is a difference between doing it like this, my hips are forward, and then twisting in like we just did. So now we really want to create a twist for the spine to loosen up the stiffness that can be in the lower back muscles. Really twisting the upper body, going from side to side. One more, to the left and back. Okay, good. We're staying a bit higher. We just did this one for upper and lower back. I'm putting my hands back on my hips, and now actively going to push forwards my chest bone and bring it backwards. This is also, again, a bit more if you have some neck stiffness. Could be that the stiffness comes from the upper back and that you need to loosen up the tissues over there. So really pushing backwards and forwards. Again, this might be an exercise that you think, how is he doing that? I'm not really able to move my chest bone like he's doing. And it might help to think that I'm moving with my elbows forwards and here backwards. It might help to make the movement just a bit bigger. Again, you make it as big as you can without going into any painful areas. Okay. Now we're going down more towards the hips. We would bring up the hips forwards like this, so twisting them forwards, and then the opposite. So they were really, if you look at it, the lower back would now be overextended and now flexed. So just to loosen up the lower back here. Also, you might feel like there is little movement there, then this exercise would be especially useful for you to create some movement, to create some capabilities of moving whenever you need it. Last one, forwards and backwards. Okay, I'm gonna grab some, maybe have a little sip of water before. If you have anything near you, a desk or even a chair would do. Or if you have nothing, you can just go down on the ground and put your hands under your shoulders. For now, I'm gonna do it over here on the desk. Here what we're gonna do is with the entire spine, with the entire back, I'm gonna try and really make it hollow, and then on the opposite I bring it forwards again. So it's a combination of the two exercises that we just did. We're doing both the hip and the chest at the same time, really going forwards and backwards, trying to create some movement there. After a long time of sitting, this can really help to reduce some tension, so I definitely recommend it. Now, okay, I'm gonna make it just a bit more difficult. In this same position, we're going back to the hips and we're trying to move the hips as we just did, but now you'll have to focus a bit more on not moving the upper back. Dus nu maken we het net iets moeilijker, enkel bekkenkantelingen, maar we zijn nu gesteund met de armen en dan sneller kunnen voelen of dat we dan ook de bovenrug mee in de beweging gaan nemen. Dat is nu niet de bedoeling. Okay, now we have done that. We're going to the upper part again. So now you have to fix the hips and try and only round it from the upper back. Try and be a bit mindful of feeling if you're moving with your hips as well. If so, then you're making the movement probably just a bit too big, and you should try and focus for this exercise only to move in the upper back. Last one, and come back. Okay, good. Now that we're already using a chair or a desk or whatever, we're going to put to keep our hands on there, and we're going backwards with our feet just a bit more. And from this position, I'm going to try and really push down my chest bone towards the ground, and then can come back up slightly before we repeat and go into the same position. See if you can get your ears in between your arms or even a bit lower, really pushing down from the chest bone. And you might feel it in the upper back, especially if you have been sitting for a big part of the day and you have not been able to move a bit in your upper back. And this will feel especially, should not say painful, but that you will really feel where you would be doing it. Going for 2 more repetitions. Back up. Okay, good. That's it for the desk for now. We're going back without any material. We're standing on one foot for the next exercise. We're bringing up the right knee, and from here I'm going to twist it 90 degrees outwards, touch it down on the ground, and then move it back. You bring it up towards the side, touch the ground, and coming back. We're going for 8 repetitions. This was the 3rd one. Touching and bringing back, touch and back. That's 4. We're halfway. Might be a bit challenging on balance as well. 5, 6, 2 more, 7, last one on this side, touching the ground and coming back. Okay, good. Doing the same on the other side. So we're standing firmly on the ground with our right leg. We bring up the left knee, twist it outwards, we touch the ground, and we rotate it back inwards. Ik heb nu door dat ik nog echt niet veel Nederlands gesproken heb. Maar hopelijk lukt het allemaal ook met het Engels of met de demonstraties natuurlijk. We zijn alleszins nu de heupen aan het openen. We're opening up the hips, and at the same time we try and also give a bit of a challenge for the balance. Ben ik de tel kwijt, maar we zullen zeggen dat dit de 6e is. 2 more repetitions. And now the last one, up and down and coming back, of course. Okay, very good. We're standing a bit more open, slightly bent through the knees again, slightly bent through the hips. I'm bringing my arms next to me, and from here I'm gonna make 2 fists again, and I'm twisting my wrists towards the front and try to do that as much as I can, and then I twist it in the other side again, twisting forwards and backwards. You try not to move with the shoulders themselves. So you see, I try to stay stable and only have the movement in the arm. Of course, you're twisting your whole arm, so you will feel this exercise actually in the shoulders. Okay, 2 more, and we'll continue, but in a different position. Okay, we'll bring our hands up now over here in the T position horizontally, and we continue the same exercise. You might especially see it over here that if you would go too far, that you would then start to shrug up the shoulders. You don't have to do that. You have to keep them low, and you try to just twist as much as you can with the arms, but without having any compensation in the shoulders. Probeer niet de schouders mee omhoog te krijgen. We zijn hier nu aan de laatste, last one. Okay, and we bring them up now, and we can make the letter Y, and we're continuing with the rotation. A good exercise if you feel like you have been a bit stuck in the shoulders and you need to loosen it up there. Also for this exercise, try to keep the shoulders low so they're not up next to my ears, but they're pushed all the way down. You might have to put in some conscious effort to do that. One more. Okay, and relax. Good. Going back to the hips for the next exercise, where we will push away our hips towards the left side. Then we push it forwards, towards the right, and then backwards. Over here, if you push towards one side, you should feel a stretch in the straight leg, so this leg is slightly bent. And as you push it forwards, you have some activation of the glutes. Push it back towards the other side. Feel it now in the other leg, in the inner thighs. That's on the inside of the legs. Okay, we're now doing it where we hold it in every position, but now we're gonna make it smoother, not making it too fast, but you're just making a complete circle all the way around in the hips. 2 more before we go over towards the other side. Okay, over towards the other direction. Don't try to do it too fast. Really pushing, pushing, pushing throughout the whole range of motion. Two more to complete circles. Okay, good, very good. Now we're all loosened up. Let's say we just have the ankles. I don't know if you can see them on the screen. I'll have to, yeah, like this. Okay, we're putting the toes on the ground and we're trying to make circles all the way in the ankles. If you have not been walking around much, then all of those muscles will not have been used throughout the day. Although I hope some of you have a standing desk that is provided to you, or if you work at home and you would have a standing desk yourself, then of course you will have to be putting some effort in the ankles as well. I also already changed direction on the same foot. It's not as easy as the side that you started on, which will probably have been your preferred direction. Okay, good. Moving on to the other foot. The time is passing so fast. already we're already close to the end, I mean. But I definitely feel like my body has been opened up completely. Okay, other direction, same ankle. Again, not trying to go for speed here. None of the exercises that have been performed today should be at a high speed, because if you're at a high speed, you cannot really fight for that range of motion. You really have to try and go for the maximum there. Okay, very good. We'll do one exercise where we really use the body a bit more. And that would be that we would go down into a squat, actually just pushing my hips backwards, keeping a neutral spine. And then we think that we have a box over here that we're going to put on the top shelf, also standing on the toes here, going back down, just for 10 easy repetitions. Try to keep a nice form, keep the spine neutral, keep your knees over your toes, and going all the way up, standing on the toes. Again, a little challenge for balance. We have done 4 repetitions already. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one, and all the way up. Okay, very good. Last exercise. I see it's already 30, so my time is due. We're starting with the hands on the hips. We're breathing in through the nose. We're going all the way up, stretching our hands up to the ceiling, and then we relax and we let our body drop towards the ground. Standing all the way up tall, and then bending the knees and letting the arms swing passively. 3 more to reach 5 repetitions. Kom maar helemaal hoog en ontspannen. Nog 2. 2 more repetitions. Really stretching up, 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 and loose and up. And then the last repetition, laatste herhaling. All the way up, helemaal naar boven. Strekken, strekken, strekken. You reach for the ceiling, and now you relax.